There we go. It takes a little while for Facebook to get going, but we're here. Tonight, I'm so excited to have my guest Susan with me, but before we get too far, I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself first. So let's get started with me and what I'm doing. My name's Kathy Skidmore. I'm a tea leaf and tarot reader. I've been reading professionally for over 5 years now. And I book tea leaf readings either for a 30 or 60-minute reading. And I do that on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So if you'd like to book a reading, there is actually a link that I connected with this Facebook Live. You can always DM me. But I have a couple exciting events going on in my life. I'm working with Heather McRae, and her and I are doing some live readings on Saturday from 2 to 4. So if anyone wants to get in on that, it's $22 for a 3-card pull. As well, I have a draw that I'm doing for Sipology products. They're worth over $180 worth of, and the tickets for that is $10 or each, or $25 for 3. So if anybody's interested in getting in on that draw again on Saturday, we're doing it live on Facebook, the actual draw for who's going to win that wonderful basket. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm done with me for now, and I'm so excited to have Susan here with me tonight. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're an Arbonne rep, and how did you get started there?
Thanks, Kathy. It's absolutely a thrill to be here. Thanks for joining, whether you're joining the recording or live. And Kathy, I love your reading. I have had a tea reading with you, and I just have to share, it was so dead on. It was scary how accurate it was. It was amazing. So thank you.
I'm very blessed. Yeah, I thank you for that. Yeah.
It was really fun. It was a lot of fun too. Yes, I'm in Arbonne. I'm an independent consultant, and luckily Arbonne kind of found me through my sister. I was in a number of different industries. All of the jobs that I had way back when wasn't that I didn't like them. I loved the people, but there was never a really good fit. And then I'll just briefly share with you that, and then having 3 children in 4.5 years, that was kind of a emotional and financial in those senses. It made sense to stay home. So I was completely grateful for the time when they were younger. And they were, I got to drop them off at school, and it was amazing. So as we know, as moms, when their kids grow up, they need, not that they don't need you, but it's different. It's a little bit different. So they became really excited about their career adventures, and it made me sort of look inward. And when I did that, I realized that I needed something more. I needed to start participating in our family finances. I was looking for an upbeat community and leadership community. And I was looking to get healthy. And so that's when my sister reintroduced me to Arbonne, and that changed everything. So all in one, all those needs were met. I now get to share this with other people who are looking for more in their life, whether it's healthier habits, a side gig to make some money, or a life transforming opportunity. So I'm so blessed to be here. And thank you, Kathy, for letting me share.
Oh, you're welcome.
Excited.
I'm sorry I was a little distracted. I finally found us on Facebook, and anybody that knows it does this. You can't see comments, so I appreciate it. I know Heather's here now because I finally saw the comments. Anybody else here, you want to say hi? We appreciate it. Or if you had a specific question for Susan too, we're happy to be interactive as well tonight. So so your topic for tonight that you wanted to share with everybody is 3 steps or 3 things that you can do to be your own cheerleader, right?
Yeah, I think that's great. It really is about owning your own journey. So when we look outside of ourselves, it's so unpredictable and changing that it's hard to ever feel good within what we're doing. So if we can establish being kind of our own raw person, cheerleader for ourselves, then through the journey of life, ups and downs, we can at least somewhat be well enough and good enough to be able to serve ourselves and others that way. So
Well,
the three,
exactly. Yeah, we're not
yeah,
helping anybody. That we go back to that saying with the airplane and the mask, on yourself too, right?
yes,
Yes, definitely.
totally.
We must be our own rock, I want to say. We need to be our own cheerleader, as you said, so that we can help others as well. So
That's true. Yeah. And I like the rock. I always say that too in a lot of different analogies. So but yeah, so I think one of the 3 points I would start with is by saying that just remember you're the only you. There is no one like you on this planet, and never, from all the readings and all what I've studied, and never will be. So honoring your journey is the number one, and knowing that, yeah, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be a lot of growth and learning, but if you're the only one doing this, there's no reason to critique it, there's no reason to shun yourself, there's a reason to embrace who you are. So knowing that you're the only one, not through an ego sense, but through the way to commend your journey and cheer yourself on as you go, is big, because no other, Kathy is going to show up, and no other Susan, and no other whoever's on here
right,
right
right,
now.
right.
So just
Exactly.
celebrate that, right? Like celebrate that you're here for your own magical reason and your own way about, your own healing. And so that would be number one, is once you get up in the morning, go, you know what, I'm here, I'm ready for the day, and own it.
And I
Um,
think that's very key, that we all are unique, we all are special, we all have gifts, and trying to suppress them actually does you more harm than it does you embracing them. So I love that. Everyone is definitely unique.
yeah. And you know what? Which really means that what you do and what you decide to do every day matters. Like what you choose day to day, and what you're like when setting intentions, if you're setting the intention to be the best version of you every day, then you can go through with a flow in your day to know that what you're deciding matters. So speaking kindness to yourself, speaking good words to yourself is huge. And probably there's probably people on the call, and maybe you want to drop a me in the comments if by chance you can relate. But if you ever caught yourself saying not so nice things to yourself, whether it's when you first wake up, or just kind of that negativity thing, I had heard, Kathy, that this is kind of depressing, but I have heard that we as humans are, so many of us are programmed more for negativity than we are to be positive. So it takes effort to look for the good. So,
Exactly. And I can't
this
remember the stat, but I remember hearing that before the age of like 5, kids hear like, no, I don't know, something outrageous, like, 10,000 times, or, like,
yeah,
I don't even know obviously I don't know the actual stat, but it's just astounding when you hear how many times we say no to our kids too, right?
that's so true. And that's also from a place of not really like necessarily like listening to the whole picture of what they're asking or why they're asking it, right? Like there could be a variety of things in that, but I think when you talk nicely to yourself, you then learn to talk nicely to others. I think it goes out from there, right? So love
Exactly.
yourself, like just at least like yourself, like at least go, you know what? I like myself. I'm working on loving myself, if that's where you're at.
Have
Uh,
you ever done any mirror work? Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
Louise
yeah,
Hay,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. She's kind of the main one that began that, from my understanding. You can heal your life is looking in the mirror every day and saying, I love you, saying your name, Susan, I love you, and then and then in the third person saying it. So you say it 3 times, and sometimes you'll catch yourself looking, and you'll be like, that kind of like, oh
Yeah,
my
you brush
God,
it
I
off.
have to,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but practice it, because it does pretty amazing things when you continue to do it. So yes, I definitely have done it, and I have been in the space where I kind of look and go, why am I doing this? But again, question yourself as to why is it so hard, right? um
Exactly.
yeah, so another thing through your attitude that you're the only one here is in terms of who you are. Try to like work at being excellent at what you're doing and very present in what you're doing. So when you strive for excellence every day, even if you make a mistake, you know you've done your best. Like, and Kathy, I don't know if you've heard this, but or anyone has heard this, but the notion that everything you do is anything you do.
Mm.
So if you're doing the dishes, you're there, maybe you're practicing some gratitude, stating that you're grateful for your food. You're happy to have hot water to wash your food or wash your dishes, maybe wash your food too. But anyway, so you want to really like be present and know that everything you do is anything. So just practice the idea of excellence is another way you can cheer yourself on. So you go to bed feeling like I did the best I could today. And I did the best I could, which means I decided to do what I wanted to do or what I felt was most important. I talked nicely to myself and I chose excellence today, the best I could. And you know what? If you can't do that or it's just not working out, no, the next day is a new day to begin. So
Yes, I love that too, right? Every day is a new day to start again. So it doesn't matter what yesterday was like and whether or not it was perfect or not. Like today you get a reset. You
yeah.
can start again and go forward with a fresh slate. So
Yeah. Or even within the minute, like just I'll share a story like
yeah, that's true. You don't have to sleep and then
yeah. And you know what? The other big thing is boundaries. So just really own your boundaries. If there's a lot of different things coming in at you, know that some of it's for learning for yourself and others is for you to speak up and kindly say, you know, this isn't working, or expressing yourself in the best way you can, because that's really, really important for them and for you, so that you both are on the same page that, you know, I need some time right now, or, and it doesn't lead up to this escalated, like a huge explosion or a huge rage or anything like that. And you kind of teach all the people around you that, you know, we can breathe through some things and we can work through and express ourselves kindly, that right now we need some time, or I'll be 15 or 20 minutes. If you have a family, like that's what's happening right over here. Like there's so much happening. And so I
this
mentioned, you know
is
what, I'm
yeah,
on a call.
yeah,
It's my time. It's the time that I need. And this is why. So if you
right.
explain why too, they might also sort of get it more. Not, I'm shutting you out, like, you know what I mean? There's a kind way to do it. So
Exactly. And I think that's the difference too, is how it's worded. So there's a big difference. And I know my parents and, you know, and I love them. They have passed, but you know, the way that they got us to do things was to yell at us, you know, like, you're not doing that. No, like, you know, and as, you know, as a parent now, I realize that, you know, talking and explaining things is a much gentler way of getting things accomplished and, you know, and having things happen. And it's not necessarily about controlling, but it's just being able to cooperate with everyone.
yeah, yeah, and totally. I think some of it is also like using the questions, right? Like, what would it mean for you to step in and help right now? Would it feel good for you to come and sort of just, even if it takes longer? And that's the thing, right? We all want this, like our kids to help and things to happen immediately. If we're patient more and we just sort of follow the flow of life, I think things work easier on us and on the people around us. So again, we're cheering ourselves on to be the patience, be the intentionally live in the present moment, expecting the best for ourselves first and then others. And then when we come from a space of love, we also do things differently. We have healthier habits. We choose to eat better. We choose to get outside. Because we honor our space and who we are. So
Exactly.
it's such a huge notion to, I think, to the beginning of really creating the life you really want, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I see a couple of people joined us. Ruth is here and Margaret's here too. So I want to thank them for joining us. I don't know if you had a question for us as well, but Heather's just saying thank you for the conversation. She thinks it's very important. So
Oh,
It's really
great.
nice. It's really nice that you guys support me and watch these. And yes, I think Susan's talking about something that everyone can relate to, or at least appreciate that it's something they could strive for, right? So,
Yeah.
and and I always say too, I'm not perfect, right? I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still
Okay.
trying to figure out things. So um, I think part of what I come on here for my weekly spiritual tea talk is to let people know that that there are other ways of doing things and other ways of looking at things, and hopefully that gives them some relief or some guidance or some way of, you know, managing life, because that's what we're all doing, right? So
Yeah, I think we're, a lot of us in some ways, this is just my personal opinion, are on it, we're on a kind of a healing journey in a way. Like parts, we have some rough spots to maneuver through. But if we honor ourselves, we just, and you're right, Kathy, it is such a journey. Like the whole boundary thing is definitely one of mine, hands down. And we get the lessons over and over again until we catch on. And sometimes they're harder and harder until we catch on. And then we have
exactly.
to learn how to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I won't get into my COVID and all the lessons we've learned because that's a long story.
Yeah.
But that's what you're making me think of, is that, you know, things happen for us,
Mhm.
not against us. And that's a big lesson for a lot of people to learn, that if you look at things from a different angle, you might see that there is a blessing in what's happening, as opposed to it all being negative and stressful and you know that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. If you're having trouble with that too, sometimes just getting a piece of paper out and journaling anything good that you happen to visually see or even smell, if there's a good meal cooking, or I mean,
Yeah.
using our senses for the good, looking for the good. It's just jotting it down, say some happy words, put them on paper, right? And another thing we can do is the last step, and I think I've given more than three, it doesn't matter,
Yeah, yeah, I know we've
but
gone. I love it though.
yeah, I was gonna say, the other thing you can do is write down who you want to be. Like
Mm,
ideally, in an ideal world, who would you choose to be? And not anything inauthentic, but like writing down your gifts, what you'd work on, just doing some journaling around that and giving yourself some space and time to kind of look within.
yeah, and I say that too. It's funny that comes up too when I talk about relationships with someone too. Like, so what do you want? Do you want someone that's kind? Do you want someone that has a good sense of humor? Do you want someone that, you know, you could say tall, but really what's more important is that you have things in common. Do you, you know, like both my husband and I like history, you know, like we have those, you have those things. So even writing down little things. Do you want someone that can cook, or someone that likes to eat
Right.
out? Do you, you know, like, and so to me, I think of that because I've coached my clients on doing that for you know, a relationship, but I love it for yourself too, right? So do you want to be kinder? Do you want to have more fun in your life? Do you want to have a better sense of humor? Do you, you know, want to appreciate your kids and take time for them? You know, do you want to, you know, and again, it's not about being stressful about this too. So let's say you promise yourself that you'll tuck the kids in every night. So
Mhm.
if it does only become 6 out of 7 nights, don't beat yourself up, right? About that either. So
Yeah, really, that's a good comment. Yeah, forgive yourself, like for on things that don't work, or you can always tweak anything. You can tweak anything you need to tweak, right? Like it's
yeah,
flexibility, I think, too. And but I would say, and I love that, Kathy, what you said, like writing down being kinder and being uh all those things. And then I always say, and again, look back to yourself. Are you that? If
right.
someone's being impatient to you, and I can relate to this totally, I'll own this totally. If people are being,
Yes.
"See this," does that mean that it's mirroring something that I'm doing too? So a lot of like introspection, right? Like really looking within and going, is this theirs or really my lesson? And then
Right.
again, cheer yourself on, you're doing well, you're
You're
on to the
doing
next
well.
day.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
matter where you are, you're doing well. And
Woo.
and we we celebrate everyone for, you know, for being where you are and dealing with whatever you're dealing with. And, you know, there's no
And
judgment
growing.
at all here because we're all on this journey, as you say. So anyways,
Totally.
I think we
Thank
need
you.
to leave it here because you and I could talk all night.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I've
you.
met Susan online. We've talked about meeting in person and we still haven't, but as you can see, her and I have very similar um, you know, takes on things and very similar interests as well. So I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to remind everybody too that if you'd like a tea reading, I do 30 or 60 minutes on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. You can book that actually through Facebook, or you can book it through my website, which is Spiritual Readings by Kathy. Or you can follow me here on Facebook. I have a group as well that is called, so a Facebook group called Spiritual Readings by Kathy, and I do some free readings on there and some other inspirational things as well. So I invite you to join that group as well. Did you
And
have anything?
yeah, I was just going to say to Kathy, thank you. I was just going to also mention, please direct message me if you're looking for healthy habits, mind, body, skin, soul. Be happy to share some more tips and tricks and sort of see where what you're looking for, if I can be of help to you.
Yes, yeah, she's wonderful to work with, and I would recommend anyone that's got some health issues or is just looking to improve their health to talk to Susan. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kathy. Take good care. Thanks everyone for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.